Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Good evening. And I hope you're all ready for some more Witcher Roads Home with my fine, fabulous players. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then I'll do the spiel-y stuff. Oh, thank you, Coldrake. So, first up, the fabulous, the wonderful, the always impressive beard stylings of one Billy. Hey, how we doing?
Cool. I mean, yeah, we got two facial hair experts here, so I didn't know where you're going with that.
Billy and Lindy, you know, and it was like, which one were you gonna go to?
Which one are we gonna?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did shave today though, so.
Really? I mean, it's pretty impressive. Like, I mean, I just feel like you could get that like handlebar mustache in like that. No time.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's a gift, I think.
Oh,
yes.
Yep.
You're so right.
See, again, it was like 3 seconds. You grew a mustache just like that.
Now you're gonna shave.
Impressive. I just ripped it out.
That's a skill.
Stings a little.
That's a skill. I'm doing good. I'm excited to see what's happening. I love playing with all these folks, and I can trust them implicitly. So I almost said explicitly, which would have been a little. I mean, it would have made sense. But we all have. I don't know much about the backstories, but I know we've all got them. And we're going to see how they connect, in addition to everything that Prax is about to throw at us. I'm just going to sit back and let it all unfold and participate positively when I can. So I've been waiting for this all week. So moving on. Next person.
Okay, that works. Thank you for waiting. We're glad I can fulfill your anticipation, Billy. It makes me happy. Next up is the wonderful, the fabulous, the beautiful Lindy.
Oh,
welcome.
thank you. I feel like I've got like a Neapolitan heart, like half and half. It's kind of fun. Trips me out a little bit though with the eye patch. But anyways, hi, I'm Lindy, and I'll be playing the cat school witcher Brenna today. She's got 2 swords. She's a witcher. She also has the bestest horse companion named Confidant, who is just a joy. He's wonderful and delightful. And she discovered that she has not one, but at least 2 brothers. So, you know, it's a whole new world.
Holding that pause to ensure that I don't break into song, because the mouth is always watching and always listening.
Because the mouse is Big Brother. That's what we learned.
The mouse is Big Brother. But last, but certainly not least, the gentleman who discovered his own complications with his family and his lover's family last week. Hey, Trooper.
Hey. How are you doing? I'm Trooper SJP, and I am playing for you today, Ianto. I have to make sure I have the page where I have all my fake last names, not for any reason, you know, just because I have more than one last name depending on who I'm talking to. That sounds suspicious, doesn't it? It's not suspicious. Don't even worry about it. I might have more than one last name. I might also,
The answer was Ianto was the imposter.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. I am playing the Jewel Crafter, theoretically. That's what I tell people sometimes. Who is a traveling merchant who is an elf and also the brother of Lindy's character, who is a witcher, and good friend of Billy's character, who's a dwarf. And sometimes I have friends who are criminals, and they sometimes call me boss, which is weird because, I mean, I don't know why they would do that, since I am a jewel crafter. Really good at appraising jewels for their worth and their quality and their portability of ease of taking from one place to the next. you know. Anyway, we have learned. I found my sister, and I just want to make sure that nobody says the wrong things to the wrong person at any given time. That's what I want to know. That's it. Just don't share some information.
And you discovered or reminded yourself that your sister is also the sister of your lover.
Yeah, I kind of didn't like. That was a thing. That was a Like, it's one of those things where when, like, that, like, 2 is a number, and then that 2 is also a number, and, like, you've got those two things, you're like, got it. Like, 2, also 2, but then you're like, 4. Right. Okay. Oh.
It's complicated is a very good definition for what goes on in this game.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. I'm at Dear Jonathan on Twitter, or Praxcorth as Miaphorias. You see me around on Twitch. Welcome to my channel. This is the fun times. Tonight is Witcher Family of Wraiths with these fine, wonderful peoples as they have introduced themselves. And I have updated things. So if you will look above and to the left of Billy, above the fine captions that we have running on the screen, you will see a bar. It is our donation bar because we are working on getting art for this wonderful, wonderful show. We will have, actually, we do have an artist. We talked to her. Those will probably end up being a thing that happens, next week. We also will have a couple commands that will be useful for you all. Number one is if you need to know what any of these NPCs look like, or you want to know what the players know about these particular NPCs, there's a command for NPCs. That brings you to the dramatis personae of all of these fine people that I have to keep track of and make sure I know who's doing what when. Because, that's my job as a DM. And yes, Beetle wins. Trooper's wig is everything.
It's my method acting.
It is all about method acting. And on top of that, we also have a command for the game that will bring you... Isn't it? Not working. Why is it not working? Command? Why you no work?
I didn't do it.
Thanks, Obama.
Sorry.
Let's try that again.
That is hilarious, and it makes me laugh.
Oh, because somebody turned the command off, because I'm a fancy pro streamer. That's what happened. There we go.
Just take the blame.
Tonight we are playing Witcher TTRPG by our dear friends over at Artel Saurian Games. Hashtag not sponsored. But they are very good people, and you should check out their game. But we are playing in the golden age of Witchers. 200 years before Geralt of Rivia first encounters Yennefer of Vengerborg. Before that drama begins to overtake everything on the continent. It's dark and full of monsters and secrets. When last we left off, our players were at a small, little tavern and inn of the Laughing Star Inn. In the town of Kagen. In Angren. Angren, Sodden. It's a little fuzzy at the moment. Just north of Tucson. But this town had been preparing because tomorrow, with the new moon, they're going to celebrate Imbolc. And when we left off, our dear friend Ardzo had stepped outside for a moment. Ianto had been explaining to Brenna that Brenna really is his sister who was stolen in infancy by witchers. You know, I have, for those of you who may or may not have a musical theater mind, at least they didn't almost get married. That's all I'm going to put there.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
And there are no pirates involved, so...
That is also true.
And I'm sure Brenna knows how many geese are in a gaggle.
Yeah. I mean, we could go many different places. There's so many different places we could go. I'm just...
But...
Get all 12th Night up here, and then, like, Billy's Orsino, and I'm
I don't think that
Olivia?
Billy's Orsino. I think
And
that...
then Lindy is Cesario and Viola? I don't know. It's complicated.
No, you would have to be Cesaria and Viola. It gets weird. We have many reasons why we're strange people. Welcome to my channel. But you also were explaining how Brenna's father was the former king of Redania.
Yeah.
Who was also father of Javik, Ianto's lover.
Mm-hmm.
It made for some interesting questions. And we left off with the entrance of a new person in this town. A figure, tall, broad-shouldered, older, human, very stylish, long white hair, very styledly cropped beard, very blunt crop, but intentional. Whom Gran, the proprietress of this fine establishment, had greeted warmly as Baldwin. And that's where we left off. But we're going to take our camera, and we're going to pull back to outside the Laughing Star Inn, and check in and say, "Hey, Ardzo, what you doing?"
I don't know. What are you doing?
I feel like I need a roll from you.
I'm a dwarf. That's who I'll be playing. His name is Ardzo. That's the role that you get from me.
Okay,
That's the
but
role I'll
like
be
I
playing.
need a dice roll, like an ROLL, not ROLE.
Okay, well maybe you should have specified.
Okay, fine. I need an awareness roll from you. I'm sorry.
It is okay. I can roll that for you. It is a 24.
Ardzo, what are you doing outside as Ianto is trying to explain life to Brenna?
And also, I sent my work colleague out of the inn after trying to steal unsuccessfully my sister's Witcher medallion, and I'm pretty sure I know who put him up to it. And that person is no longer in the inn because I did not want them arrested. They had to leave. So I'm just pointing that one out.
Ardzo would probably be engaging in a conversation with this person as to the happenings of. What do you? Is it smaller than I think it is? Do you have it on you?
No, man. I mean, she didn't. She noticed. And then the boss noticed, and the boss said no. So.
Well, then I cannot do the thing you ask of me.
Okay.
Business is business, I suppose. But I can, maybe we can work something else out. I can, if I. When is it that you need me to make the potion?
Well, we kind of need it till it's like as best as you can get, as soon as you can get, cause like, man, it's not cool, dude. It's not cool.
What is not cool? Listen, I came here for something else entirely, and now I have to make this thing, and I might not even get paid for this thing. Okay, so I need to a little context would be nice.
Like the boss is totally gonna pay you. I mean, he said he's gonna pay you. It's standard rate and everything.
Well, there's no standard rate. The rate is what I say it is because I make it. That is the business. That is how it works.
Okay, but like, okay, so, you know, some shit's going down in Bellhaven, and then there's some creepy, spooky shit going down.
I don't know about any of that. A little, we're supposed to stay, okay, but it's not my business, okay? It's not what I do.
Okay, but like, I don't know. Boss said, anyways, you said you want the thing. I'll get you the thing. It's gonna take a little bit longer than right now, because she's a little more sober than she was about 5 minutes ago.
Hey, that's good. I can't start unless I have the thing. If you can, do you know, are you one of the ones that he had sent to my place before? Do you know where I live?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will go there. I will get all of my materials ready. And I can start as soon as I receive, you know, the thing that we had talked about.
Okay, I will totally get you the thing. In the middle of this conversation, Ardzo, you notice a figure. Tall, distinguished, hooded cloak. Open the door of the Laughing Star Inn and just goes to reach for the door, and he pauses for a moment. And the figure glances at you in the darkness. You can't quite make out his features, even in the light reflecting off of from the windows, mostly because you're trying to hide yourself in darkness anyways.
The half second that this figure takes to notice me, I'm blocking the door. How rude of me. Let me. And then he reaches over and opens the door. After you, my friend.
As he walks in, now that you've very much aware of him, can you roll me a human perception?
I can roll you a dwarven perception.
Sure.
21.
There's this moment of pause as he walks through the door, where he looks literally down on you. As that human versus dwarf height, but there's also that metaphorical glance down on you.
So he's looking down at me, and his nose is in the way, so he's looking down his nose.
Yeah, pretty much.
Me.
Which is complicated, because I suspect his nose is also in the air. So, like, maybe his nose is in the air, but he's also looking down at his nose, but he's also looking down. Like, I just feel like there's probably a lot going on with this guy physiologically. It seems non-Euclidean.
Ardzo will, you know, as he's opening the door, glance up at the figure and take note that he's being looked at like this.
It's just
and smack. He's gonna smack his lips once. He's like, "Well."
There's this half moment of just, you saw this brief moment, but it's gone in a flash. And the figure smiles very politely, very cordially. Thank you for opening the door. And walks in and smiles at the crowd. And Gran, as he flips his hood back, Gran greets him pleasantly as, Baldwin, glad you're here. And the door closes, is the sound you hear from the inn becomes a little bit more raucous. The figure of Shades reemerges from behind the shadows where he had hidden the moment they noticed a new figure entering. Turns and, like, puts a hand on your shoulder, goes, "Okay, so I'll meet you at the place with the thing in the morning."
Okay, I will have my materials ready. And, I mean, I can also... Do you like eggs?
I guess. Who doesn't like eggs?
I will have some eggs for you. How do you like them? Do you like them all mixed up, or do you like them just heated on the pan? With, like, the yellow circle right in the middle?
I hate what comes to me.
Okay, then I guess I will surprise you.
Cool.
Hey, and Ardzo grabs his arm. Hey, don't sweat it. They can smell your sweat.
Could you roll me a first aid or healing hands?
Sure, let's do healing hands. I'm going to use that profession situation.
Takes the place of all first aid rolls. Yay, healer.
All right, hold on. I gotta find. It's a big sheet. Okay. 18.
So as you are shaking his hand, you notice two things. Number one, it's shaking. Just the littlest bit. There's that fine tremor in his hand. And his eyes aren't quite... They're hyper-focused on you. If you were, as a professional, going to say, this is a gentleman who is in the early stages of withdrawal.
Hey, how are you doing?
I mean, they're creepy wolves who walk on two legs, man. This shit is creepy. And they're big, and they're killing people. Well, they're not killing people. They're kidnapping people. I don't know if they're killing people. Are they killing people? I don't know. It's been a time, man. It's been a time.
Oh, I don't doubt that it has been the time. That's why, I live by myself in the woods most of the time, so I can avoid all of that trouble. But I have noticed this kind of shaking before, and has this happened to you before? Have you been this sick?
Man, they shut down the brothel. They shut down business. It's been a little bit of a time. I'll be
because
okay.
of the two-feeted wolves?
Yeah. So oh man, you didn't even hear. So.
No, I live in the woods by myself, so I did not.
So then you should know about this, because they're gonna be it could be dangerous for you, dude. You're my friend. I don't want you to get seriously messed up. There are these bandits who are kidnapping nobles on the road between here and Bellhaven, and they're calling themselves wolves, which is really not cool, because that's our thing, and that's just mean. But they also been kidnapping our stuff as it's coming south, and so a bunch of stuff hasn't been coming to Bellhaven, if you get my drift. And my associate may or may not have gone after them, hunting down, because they're bandits, whatever, they do bandit shit. But then they went from being groups of wolves with are humans with 2 feet, and then there are wolves on two feet, and it was man, this shit ain't cool.
Are they just do they look like you and I some of the time, and then other times they are half of a wolf?
I don't know.
Are they wolves?
I didn't see shit.
Okay, well, calm down, relax. It is.
I will find my way. I do not do woods. I do buildings and houses and streets, and preferably things where I could possibly get into second stories of other people's buildings. But woods is not my shit.
I do woods, and that I think is why we make a good team. So let me go. I will take care of myself. Okay. And then tomorrow, stop by, hopefully, and I will have some eggs, and then you will have the thing that I require to help you.
Yeah. I just gotta wait until she goes to bed, and then I'm gonna get it. It'll be fine.
Might I suggest a different plan?
What?
Do you know who that person is? Do you know what they do? What their job is?
They kill monsters. They're witchers, and I really don't like the fact that you're making me steal from a witcher. But the deal's the deal, and so I'm going to follow through with the deal.
Right. I'm just in order to ensure the success of this endeavor, Witchers, from what I have heard, that do not sleep. They meditate. They sit down in like a spot, and then but they are aware. So might I suggest another means of ascertaining the required object.
Look, I appreciate the information about the meditating shit. That just makes things a little bit more complicated. But do I ask you how to make things?
No.
So, like, trust me when I say if I need to rob somebody, I'm gonna know what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate the info, though. I mean, it's
right.
real...
That is what I'm not trying to do your job for you, because then I would just do it myself. But I wanted to make sure you had all of the knowledge. I don't, want to see anything bad happen to you.
No, dude, I totally respect it. I got plans. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine.
Okay, then I will get your eggs ready then. Okay, so tell them that I am off.
Okay.
And to have a nice evening. It's a little too crowded in there for me, and it makes me anxious. So I'm going to go now.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, well, yeah.
And he just kind of
then.
slinks back into the alleyway between one of the buildings in the inn. Where do you head, Ardzo?
Back to my very humble abode.
In the woods.
In the woods. Into the woods.
So I just want to make sure that you're going to go into the woods at night, alone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At night, alone. Into the woods.
I mean, this is not Ardzo's first, as you say, rodeo. So I think, he wanted to get home earlier, but he got sidetracked. Right. Friendship is great, but he's got some things to do, and now he has to make eggs and potentially some other stuff. So he's got his work cut out.
So we'll put a pin in Ardzo going into the woods by himself in the middle of the night.
I've just seen a lot of movies. Makes me nervous. That's all.
It's fine. And we're gonna slide the camera in through the window of the Laughing Star Inn as we watch Baldwin kindly greet all of the people in the inn, works his way around the room, has that moment of laughing with Gran, quasi-flirting, but obviously a joke on both parts. And he then proceeds to make his way to the table on the opposite wall from where Ianto and Brenna are, who is currently occupied by Gwyneth, the local priestess of Lilivani.
I have a question.
Yep.
I just would like to, if I might, could I make some sort of, awareness, perhaps?
Awareness? Certainly.
Yes.
Would you like to do awareness? Go ahead.
I mean, awareness or social etiquette. I'm just wondering how much money I think this person has. Valuables.
Well, if you want to make me a social etiquette roll, that would be beautiful. I would love that.
Of course. I mean, I'm just wanting to sort of get a sense of this fellow's breeding and also.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Can I too make a social etiquette roll?
Yes.
I roll a 16.
Okay, we'll let Brenna make this roll as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, gotta open this
That's
up.
a terrible roll for me, as it is, but it's all right.
21.
Oh, very good. Oh, my sister surprises me a bit. Interesting. I like it. I like that our group is aware and, yes, I like it.
As you both are watching, Ianto slightly more intrigued by the financial possibilities of gain from this particular individual. Brenna's a little bit more aware of the social niceties involved. Brenna, Ianto, you notice that although his clothes are very well made, very well tailored, intricate embroidery, they're not the finest of cloths. Definitely respectable, but not overly wealthy.
Area?
Local-ish. Local-ish. Definitely seems not southern, more northern than southern, but not any of the great north. Maybe from, kind of more along the lines of possibly Sintra, Sodden, Lyria. This kind of general area of the southern north, perhaps.
Just one final question about the needlework. Do I get a sense that this is made by... sort of get a sense of the when you get someone who is a professional and does this very well, and you get very excellent work done, or if it's sort of done in a sort of a
no. It's very, very professional, very, very patiently done, very intricately. In fact, you can't see it from where you are, but if you could flip it over and see the exact mirror of the needlework on the other side, and this
All right.
is
so well done then.
Extremely well done. You can gauge that. Brenna, however, with your slightly higher social etiquette role, are more aware of the actual etiquette of the individual as he's working the room, people he's greeting. You're just a little bit better, have a little bit better hearing than your brother, those Witcher things.
The Witcher hears, Yeah.
Both of you have those elven ears, but yours work just a little bit better than his do. And you would gauge that he is a priest.
Interesting.
And a priest of a local deity who, and by local, I mean, again, this kind of whole area along the Yurga, and that he is of some rank within that priesthood.
Gotcha.
Not, they haven't actually said the name of his deity as you're kind of like walking, as he's working the room, but you definitely get like the terminology being used is very much...
for sure.
For lack of a better term, there's somebody saying, hey, Father O'Malley, welcome. Are you going to join us for, I should really look into official titles of priesthood in Witcher universe that isn't part of the Eternal Flame or Church of the Sun, but...
Pops?
Huh?
Pops? Hey, Pops! Like, that's what they call priests?
I don't think Pops is a thing. I don't think Pops...
Not at his rank, probably.
not at his rank. And while the embroidery, again, denotes his rank, and you can see that there's, like, some gold threads within the embroidery itself, but it's not anything that's... He's not overly flashy, he's not... It doesn't look like...
Because he's a priest, but he's not one of those priests. But he's of a high rank. Yeah.
He's of a high rank of an established enough church that everyone here kind of recognizes him and recognizes his symbols. If you wanted to see if Brenna knew what those symbols were, you would need perhaps a different role. Like an education.
Well, I would be happy to roll an education roll to see what I know about it. Nothing. I know nothing about this at all.
I just want to know if he has, like, things to steal.
I just know he's not nobility.
Yeah.
He's... Or he is... Yeah, it's not a major house thing. He's a priest.
He's a priest of some note. Ianto, you would see that it's that fine line of he might have things to sell, but they're also, do you want to trade in things of that kind of very obvious nature that are all holy and...
But I don't realize he's a priest yet, yes? Because I did not pick that up.
No, you don't.
Yeah. But I just generally when I meet new people, I just assess if they're the kind of people to rob for no reason. It's just like, hey.
I was on the list until you found out I was your sister.
Then you were off the list because I care. And it's just one of those things. You're like, oh, that person's very tall. They don't have a weapon. They have a money sack. That's interesting. It's just things you notice.
You would notice that he isn't carrying any obvious coinage. Like he's not carrying an obvious wallet. He's, there is a small knife at his belt, but it's very obviously like a utilitarian knife more than anything else.
But also the fabric is not the highest quality fabric, so it's all well made, but it looks to me like maybe he's not like super set with money.
Yes, that would be your bet.
Yeah, so probably not a really good mark. Is that worrisome that that's how I think when I meet people for the first time? No, it's fine. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. Just... huh. So I imagine both of the siblings. They're sort of like.
Quick assessment.
Yeah,
Witchers are supposed to assess their surroundings.
Yeah, as are jewel crafters.
Sure.
Are you gonna? Well, the thing is, these are werewolves or wargs or something like that, or some sort of a mixed pack. Kidnapping people and taking supplies and all that. That's a problem, right? For travel, it's dangerous.
Yes.
If we could get a contract, then we can take care of it, right? But
sure.
I wouldn't ask you to do anything without it being a contract.
It would be preferable to be a contract, yes. If the local government here does not want to put out a contract for it, or in Belhaven, perhaps the priesthood would.
Oh, you mean Gwyneth?
The person who just walked in is holy nature of some sort, decent rank from the looks of it.
Really?
Their clothes are a bit more fine than a average priest would be.
Ianto appears a little bit more closely. He's like, hold on a minute. I clearly missed something. What is that? He's going to give like an extra special look. Check out the shoes especially. Like, hold on. My sister
I don't know about religion, but he's definitely of some organized religion. Organized enough to afford clothes like that.
I'm gonna have to do an extra peering on this one because I don't like that at all. I'm gonna do what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do here to try to figure out something about this fellow? I don't. My sister showed me up in public. Private. We're in a booth. I'm gonna do an awareness because she pointed out things that I didn't see. So I'm gonna give him a better once over.
You could give him that or deduction.
All right, we'll go with deduction. I mean, I'm better at awareness, but
Or either one.
we need to find out what's going on here because first off,
Here are the clues. Boop, beep, boop, boop.
would you like the clues?
Would you like the clues?
I'll do some awareness. Let me just see if I can see things that maybe she didn't see, and then maybe because if I can find something that she didn't see, then I can point it out to her, and then maybe she'll be impressed by me. It'll be fine. At 21.
Wow, trying hard.
I'm look, she just showed me up by seeing things that I didn't see, and that's it.
Casually, nonchalantly.
Nonchalantly.
As she points it out, you do notice the embroideries, the marks of the embroideries definitely indicate some level of priesthood. As he's seated next or across from Gwyneth, he makes there's that kind of slight deferentialness that she gives to him, but not that deference that someone gives of someone of a higher rank but isn't in their direct chain of command.
Like respect, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like he's a higher priest than she is, but he's not a priest of the Levani. So
Can I roll my education?
you can.
I mean, I'm not. I didn't go to school. I went to the school of hard knocks. I learned critical. Look, I get education in other ways. That'll
I
be
feel like
30.
with your job, you had to pay attention to religion a lot more than my job. So
I have to pay attention to a lot of things because sometimes you have to like fake being a priest. Sometimes you fake a lot of things. So 30 to figure that out.
As you do, you notice that a couple of that embroidery, that very, very fine embroidery, that he has some very distinctive markings.
Have I ever slept with somebody from this order before? Is that
Probably not. Probably not. Well, I mean, he is. And you would also notice that they are a priest of Theopatis.
What do I know about them?
In fact,
Considering
Theopatis is is one of the oldest human religions. They're even going back to the Dauk and Wazgor human. They're usually found. They're traditionally found in later. They're of merely the Pontar Valley, but they are a river deity, sort of, and forest. Common folk usually, he's attributed to being a guardian god. Various people, he guarded people from the dangers of the forest. There would be large poles erected with his likeness on them that marked the border between areas that had been tamed and wild and dangerous areas. So like the borders between like farmland and open forestry and things.
May I ask a question?
Yep.
I just have a question to ask. It's just about the last time that maybe I had an evening with a priest. Like, was there like weird role play that involved elves? I just have some questions about like the wild areas that are dangerous and like the civilized areas that are less dangerous. I just have some questions about their politics when it comes to non-humans.
Their politics concerning non-humans, they're there isn't any. They are purely a protector deity.
But human.
But they're also like they're not unfavorable to non-humans.
Okay.
They are a deity that is a deity that is worshipped by humans in protection against things from the Convergence, big creepy monsters, wild animals, flooding. People would offer him fish to make sailing easier, and his name was used to ward off beasts.
All right.
So
you never know what people's politics are, because all sorts of things come over the Convergence. You never know.
He's got a very distinctive look. Big gaping maw. Nothing about there's nothing in his politics that seems.
All right. Just checking.
As far as you're aware.
As far as you never know.
To the deity itself, there's no.
Yeah. I go, right, yeah. No, you're right. You pointed out that's good. Yeah, Church of Theopatis. Yeah, the guardian god. Old one. Humans worship for a long time. I mean, I'm sure you know that.
Religion was never anything I had to learn or pay attention to.
Oh. What did they
Not much of it in killing monsters. So.
Well, I suppose, you worked at a court, right? I mean, you were like a witcher for some noble for a bit. imagine you hobnobbed with all those folks.
A bit. The nobility are not all usually particularly religious as well.
Well, that's true.
Or at the very least, they are very irreverent.
Also, you know, I was going to say something that was really inappropriate, no, so I won't. It's a funny joke about.
We went through role play with priests, and this is what's going to be draw your line for inappropriate. Sorry.
What? You know, it was a different time. It was a while ago. So, I don't know if churches do churches normally put out contracts for witches?
Anyone could put out a contract for a witcher if it is interfering with their goings on, or if they are simply trying to do a good deed by reporting monsters in the area.
But I mean, I imagine you're expensive.
It depends on the monster and the contract. But werewolves are not necessarily cheap, just throwing that out there. Drowners, sure. Werewolves, not so much. There is more prep required. I have to make some alchemical solutions to assist.
Yeah. I suppose I should ask, so, how you doing with all the information I gave you?
It is processing. I have just recently. It was a lot at once, but you know. So that makes me a half elf, right? Instead of a full. Okay, that explains some things.
What things?
I did not do particularly well with the mutagens of the Witcher training because they were most likely because they were for elves, and I am not a full elf.
Well, we're not technically.
I look like it, but that is not how science works. So.
It's a really beautiful pin you got. Looks quite pricey, actually.
Thank you. It was a gift for my service to the noble family I was contracted to.
Makes sense. It looks like something a regular person couldn't afford. Huh.
I have no idea its actual monetary worth.
GM, what is its monetary worth? Could I assess that?
You could roll me that fine arts.
I assume it is not cheap. I'm almost afraid to know.
25 to assess how expensive that is. You know, I want to get a sense of that work.
It's all silver with an amethyst in the center. It's very pretty.
But it's not quite silver. It is actually platinum.
Oh, well then.
Or
it looks silver.
It looks silver, but it might be platinum, but there's something off about it as you gauge it. The gem is significant. 4-5 carats. Definitely very well cut. Very high clarity. The metal itself is very expensive. If you were to kind of put a ballpark price on it without doing some more heavy investigating about what the particular metal actually is, because while it looks like platinum, there's some other things that are a little off on it. You'd probably guess upward of about 600 crowns, maybe close to 1,000.
For the audience, if you're a peasant, let's say, like an average person, like how much money would you see in a year? If you saw coin money at all, which you probably don't, but you know, equivalent of.
A tradesman might see 50 crowns, or a basic peasant might see 50 crowns a year.
Just for context. And I just like am peering at it, you know, I just like lean over the table and I peer at this.
Can you roll me in awareness?
I can. and then I just like get a little bit closer as I am clearly a 19, as I'm clearly a bit like intrigued by this as I'm leaning in. Huh.
Well,
one moment. And I go in and I pull up like a little jeweler's
Well, if you pull out the jeweler's eye, I'll give you advantage on the roll.
Oh, thank you. So I pull this little jeweler's eye because this is a bit funny, isn't it?
Well, actually, reroll, but give yourself a +5 with the jeweler's eye. A jeweler's loop. Thank you, Barantor.
Because I have a kit. 26.
Using
and
the
it just me pull out a jeweler's eye, and I just like start peering in at your pin because clearly something is fascinating. And also, I'm a jewel crafter.
You would notice what Ardzo noticed.
A loop, thank you.
Noticed earlier in the night. It seems to be, the gem itself seems to be glowing. Minutely, but this kind of level of like something of like a phosphorescent, like when you find phosphorescent mushrooms in a cave or something, or, you know, algae. It is glowing. And the metal is astonishingly shiny, but has not been polished. It's almost like it doesn't need to be.
That's not a property of platinum.
Actually, yes, it is a property of platinum. Silver is the one that tarnishes really easily.
Yeah.
But it has that feel of silver. But it also looks like it's never been tarnished a day in its existence.
Would I assess that this looks like it's trying to pass itself off as silver? To sort of like it's trying to not show off that it's platinum, if that makes any sense?
No. Based on both your awareness and your fine arts, you would say that it might be silver that had been magicked.
So, fun fact, I was going to say sorry. My dad, is a jewel crafter, right? It's, traveled quite a bit. I told you that. So I know a little bit about jewelry, and it's really good work. What did you do to get that?
The von Wedler family was very pleased with my 20 years of contracted service, and I actually became, you could say, good friends with the family. I taught the younger ones how to sword fight, and so I think it was a bit of a sentimental parting gift.
Huh. Well, I mean, just, do you know how expensive that is?
No, she looks almost like her face is pretty chill, pretty, you know, whatever. But there's like a slight tensing of like, oh, I almost don't want to know. But no, I do not know how expensive it is.
Well, I bet somebody would charge to make that. And I'm gonna give you a number, but I think the number's wrong, based on other things. I'd say 800 crown, between 600 and 1,000 crown. But that would be if it weren't magical. But it looks to me like you do know that's magic, right?
I've noticed a faint glow.
So yeah, so you've got a magic, and I don't know how much they charge for magic, but I tell you what, that's not, you know, normal.
Ask Javik, even know.
Hey, it's not a bad idea. But he might be able to tell you what the magic on it is. Do you know what it is? What the magic's on it?
It seems to react somewhat similarly to my amulet, actually. So, magic monsters curses.
So I got a question. You were given this really expensive, very nice, difficult to resell
Mm-hmm.
gift that was magicked to react to things you already know how to find. That's weird, don't you think?
I suspect he did not know the magical properties. He said it had just been in the family, I believe.
Oh.
I think it was just a family heirloom or something.
So they gave you a family heirloom. Is that normal for witches?
Nobles are strange.
Oh, well, that's true. I mean, you tell the truth there. That's huh. Well, I bet we could ask Jarvik what it does. But speaking of Jarvik, what are you gonna do?
I don't know yet. I suppose it might be awkward for you to for you to be, if he was to find out that he is dating his half-sister's half-brother.
Yeah, that would be really awkward because he doesn't know. That would conflict with some stuff. But I had an idea. You could,
because you all seemed just so happy in your portraits.
Yeah. So I had an idea that might be able to fix your problem. You could tell him that you're his half sister without telling him who I am.
But
Because all you need to know in order to find out that you're his half sister is to find out that who your father is, who's not my father. So you could connect with him. You could get more family without bringing me into it. Exactly.
But what about if he asks how I know who my mother was?
What has your mother got to do with it, though?
It's
just your father,
don't know.
right? It's just right.
To verify siblingship. I don't know how this works.
Well,
I've never had family before.
Right. But I feel like the only relevant family member right is your father, your shared fathers, which I got nothing to do with. So, I mean, that's a different story, actually. I mean, I'm not related, but the point is that, I mean, if you want family and you want to reconnect and everything like that, and I bet he'd like to know, and I bet it'll be, good for you and everything like that. I mean, I bet you could just bring your father's side of the matter without bringing up anything else.
I'm going to have to think on it, sleep on it. It is a lot to process. I don't know if he would appreciate. I do not know.
But, I mean, I suppose the question I'd ask is, I mean, if you'd appreciate it. I mean, you just said that you don't have any family, and now it turns out you do got family, and maybe you want to know them.
It's very strange. I was not expecting a discovery of that nature in my lifetime.
I was, just not today. So, look, I don't want to keep you from him if it's important to you. I just would ask you find a way that
to make it not awkward between you two for your relationship.
Yeah, that would be a great way to put it.
I will have to think on it if I will even tell him. I do not know.
I mean, he doesn't need to know really things about me,
No.
Just leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. It's all right. So
yes, I don't think I need any other
no
shocking discoveries this evening.
I'm a bit worried about you, though. Are you all right? Also, where's Ardzo? Is he coming back or what?
I don't know. He just stepped out briefly.
A platter is put on the table in front of you by Lencia, the young granddaughter to Gran, with her braid crown of her dark brown hair. She kind of, very similar, just without the white streaks. She kind of sets it in front of you and looks at you and Ianto and says, "Oh, your friend said your other friend is busy and had to go. Well, Ardzo had to go home. He wanted to get some work done, and apparently there might be eggs in the morning. I don't know.
He's a cultivator of chickens.
Yeah, he does some weird shit with those chickens. He keeps asking his brother for manacles for the chickens. He's a very good healer, but I don't know what the manacles and the chickens are for, and I don't want to ask.
You don't want to ask.
Well,
There are many applications for manacles, and you do not want to ask.
I assume that they're chicken-sized manacles, like little small ones. Perhaps he likes to bejewel them of some sort. I could, if he wanted jewelry for his chickens, he could talk to me.
Well, maybe he didn't want to keep them cooped up.
No, perhaps yes. Yes, perhaps it'd be too foul to put too fine of jewelry upon those chickens.
Look, I don't ask what Ardzo wants with the manacles or the chickens.
It would be an excellent question to ask him, though, don't you think?
You know, are you spending the night, ma'am?
If you have a room available, that would be ideal. Yes, please.
Yes. Gran's gonna put one up for you. Assuming Ianto's heading home for the night?
I am indeed. Would you, if you wouldn't mind, could I get, you have a wine, I think it's you have a honey wine, at least you did the last time I was here, and you had them in somewhat smaller casks. Do you have one that I could bring back?
I think so, yeah.
That would be excellent. Then I would love to purchase one if you don't mind. To go.
She kind of nods at the two of you and walks away, stopping at the table across, on the other side of the room from you. There's a brief conversation between her and Gwyneth and Baldwin. Again, seeing what's going to happen.
Just the vibe. Just speak about this ceremony that happens every year, and I have been here for 3 years now, hanging out off and on. Have I been to this ceremony before?
Have you been here in early spring before?
I mean, it's been 3 years. I spend a lot of time here. I have to travel for jewel crafting reasons, but I do. But I spent a lot of time here, especially in the last, let's say, 2 years. It's
a smaller festival. Celebrations include there's a fire that will be put up, mostly hearth fires, but there will be a big one in the center of town. Not quite like a Beltane bonfire, but like a kind of small hearth fire. And there's a bonfire. It will be a bonfire, but a little bit. There's lighting of candles, divination from the fire. There's purification, like a smudging going on.
But do they is it normally done by Gwyneth, or do they have outside?
Usually, other priests might come in. You've never seen Baldwin before.
Yeah.
You've never seen Baldwin before, but Gran's greeting of him definitely gave the impression that
he was familiar.
He was familiar, so he may have been here at other times when you weren't.
Yeah.
Just haven't crossed paths as of the moment. There are lots of candles being brought to kind of bless houses and bless new beginnings and all of these kind of things, and lots of snowdrops.
I say, Leniza, the priest fellow there.
Yes.
I've never met him.
Baldwin. He comes pretty frequently. He does some of the other holy days. Gwyneth comes when he can. He's circuits around.
Ah, I see. Do you know where he's based out of? I mean, I imagine he's not itinerant.
No, he comes sometimes from places. I need the map. Because I need the map, and that's the one thing that I didn't open yet. Alright.
And
so mostly out of comes from Reedburn and circles through Kagen and Breesia and Carnico, all through Sodden, really. And sometimes down to Sintra, but not always.
Oh. Well, perchance I'll see him tomorrow then at the ceremonies. He seems like a friendly fellow.
Aye, he's right pleasant. Distinguished, even.
Oh, yes, that's quite a handsome beard he has. Well groomed.
She kind of gives
The
you this
cut.
look. Oh.
The cut is quite good. Precise. Deliberate. It shows care, and care with one's presentation is always important. I should talk to Ardzo about that. Well. Thank you. It's appreciated. So, Lady Witcher, will you join us for breakfast tomorrow? Before the ceremony?
Is that an invitation?
Of course it is. A nine.
And I suppose so.
That's art. That's art. Well then, so you're invited over to breakfast. I'm sure that Javik would love to regale you with discussions of monster hunting and contracts and whatnot. And perhaps we can organize some sort of a meeting with the Baron and, well, at least we can... It's the ceremony tomorrow, so at least I imagine we'll be able to see him at least. Perhaps talk about, well, what's going on. And anyway, I'd like to get Javik to take a look at that brooch of yours.
Certainly, yes. Most people do attend these kind of events. Like, the whole town shows up, especially in places this size. So...
Yes. Well, I suppose I should walk back, but, I am very happy that I found you. And I should have known it would be chance rather than knowledge.
Witchers are always moving around. It is hard to track them down.
It is true, especially when there's so little information about you all. And I have asked.
Many will not give information.
You know, sometimes they do.
Yeah, some, not most.
I just hadn't met anyone who had known you yet, or known of you, or heard of you. But
It's very impressive as a person who can keep tabs on a Witcher. So,
although, really, when I knew a Witcher about 20, 30 years ago, but you would have been quite young then, probably not. When did you graduate?
when I was in early teens. I was like 12.
You graduated
13?
at 12?
Well, I went through the trial of the grasses.
When did you leave your school? I mean, they don't kick you out at 12, do they?
I was 14, 15 when I left.
Oh, well, that's quite young. You were just traveling around killing monsters at 14?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Not big contracts, but yes.
Did you have
Drowners.
Did you have
the like.
a partner or something like this? Or you weren't by yourself, were you?
Occasionally, you team up with another Witcher if there's something large or particularly troublesome.
That seems awfully dangerous.
She looks at him like, no duh. Like, such is the life of a Witcher.
Well, that's very impressive. I just would have thought they would have kept you longer, that's all. So many things I don't know about witches, despite everything that I know about witches.
A clearing of the throat as Baldwin is kind of approaching your table. Like he's giving the impression like he's warning you in advance.
Doesn't want to interrupt, yeah.
And he just... I wished to inquire as to whether you were going to attend the festivities tomorrow evening, Madam Witcher.
Yes, I believe I will be attending.
Ah, of course. We appreciate your service and your dedication to the protection of the people. I am Baldwin, the priest of Vioplantis. Thank you for your...
Brenna. Cat school.
He kind of takes your hand, and there's this moment where he shakes very bluntly and very precisely, but it's not... he's not being overly a force. He's not pulling the "I'm going to squeeze your hand" and try to establish diamonds bullshit.
Yeah, he knows better than with a witcher.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just human perception this interaction. Because I'm just watching.
You can perception this interaction.
I'm gonna just assess this whole conversation. Actually, I'm gonna assess this conversation as it goes so that I can do a different skill after.
Okay, so you're not rolling human perception now.
No, I'm gonna do weak spot instead.
Okay,
I'm gonna wait until for them to talk a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just gonna assess them.
He's very polite, very cordial. We thank you for your guardianship. The gods bless you on your way, and like he does like that thing where he kind of like reaches out and kind of blesses you, and then he turns to Ianto, is like, and it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Baldwin, priest of Atlantis. You are Ianto, are you not? I apologize. I have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. We keep keep missing each other.
Yes, indeed. I have just heard about you. You are well thought of in this community, and it is my pleasure to meet you. Where are you from? Where do you call your home?
My home is the Riverlands of the Yerga, but I have a small actual. Look, I'm gonna. Side note, I'm just gonna use terminology for priests that I know because it makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
Which are equivalent of bruh.
Just translate it. He's speaking a slightly different language. It's fine. We just translate.
Yes,
It's fine.
I have a small vicarage in Reedburn.
Ah. Oh, I actually grew up on the river myself a bit, trading and all that. I love river travel. It's got a bit of a sereneness to it.
Yes. As they say, blessings of the gods to give you such safe travels then. But I shall take my leave of you, as I must retire in preparation for the late night tomorrow.
Yes. If I might ask, what is your favorite part of the ceremony? I mean, it's such a beautiful day tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it, the holy day. So, what is your favorite part? I've never asked a priestess before.
He pauses and he takes a moment to evaluate you, and it's not that. It's not like he's calling bullshit.
He's judging you.
It's not even he's judging you. It's that it's that moment of like, can I put into words something that I experience that you have no experience for, and so
like how devout are you? Will you understand this experience? Like what? Like how do I frame this for you? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Like how can I put this into words? When the gods manifest themselves in the light of the fires and bring blessing to us all, sometimes I even really, really love those really holy occasions when the fire dies down, and afterwards in the morning light you see sprouted out snowdrops, the first signs of new life from...
Yes. I'm going to roll that weak spot right about now. If you do not mind.
No, go ahead and roll.
My target number is 3 times this priest's deception.
3 times his deception?
Let's see. Against the target, a deceit roll. I need a deceit roll from him. That's what I need. Just a deceit roll.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a versus.
I
am just looking forward
to my own hair, so
Oh no!
Wait a second. You know that moment?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I'm very familiar. Yes.
Against his deceit roll?
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Good lord.
I'm just
to be
interested.
deceitful? I mean...
People who are not deceitful have nothing to hide. And then I might know things about them. Just getting a sense.
Oops, I whispered that roll, but it was a 21.
We tied. All right. Mm-hmm. That's interesting that a priest can roll a 21 deceit. Fascinating.
That really surprise you?
Do ties go to the defender? Yes?
Ties go to the defender. Irregardless, ties go to the defender.
And so I just note this. I was like,
He's very honest.
yeah.
I'm just looking forward to a day of rest and festivity after completing my most recent contract. So.
Well, I'm sure Javik appreciates it greatly, and he might actually have a bit more work for you as well.
Perhaps.
But I wanted to thank you because I know that he's been needing those supplies for quite some time, and so my thanks.
Yes. So Baldwin just kind of nods and takes his leave from you when it seems the subject matter has gone into things that are not his business and he doesn't really care.
He seemed like he was wanting to head out, so she gave that, like, she's like, let me just give this opening to be like, yes, tomorrow, looking forward to it. Ah, da-da-da-da-da, okay.
Yes, so he makes his way out.
And you can see Ianto just give him a look as his back is to him, like,
But I think that's where we're going to take the break for the evening. So
I imagine we go to our own respective homes and.
Yes, I go up to my room because I don't live here.
yes, you have a very fine. We'll let Ianto return to Javik. And Brenna has a very fine room, a very nice corner room, large, away from the
lovely.
stairwells, as quiet as Gran can make for you.
Fantastic, and I'll just meditate, sleep.
And we'll pick back. We'll see what happens in the morning when we pick back up. Have a good one, all. We'll be back shortly.
And so you should be thankful you have a horse at all rather than judging how the quality of the horse you were given.
Unless
and on
it's
that...
unless it's the Trojan horse. I'm just saying people might lie to you. There are con men in the world. Hey, everybody.
Yes, hello. This is entirely appropriate. But we're going to fast forward a few hours and proceed to the next morning as the very pleasant as Brenna makes her way to the home of Javik and Ianto for a late brunch.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to pan the camera first down the hill, following these fine people as Brenna makes her way towards Javik's house. You see the beginnings of small fires being arranged, straw bales being prepared for both the large bonfire in the center of town in the marketplace near the forge and the smaller, like, individual little, like, doll, you know, small hay bales at various people's homes. Not a lot, because, again, nobody wants, you know, fire hazards, concerns.
Because our fire department's buckets, right?
Yeah, and there's a river.
Yep,
But there's a bit of
river
an
and buckets.
incline to get from the river.
Wow.
There is a very nice, you know, couple wells strategically placed around town. But buckets. And you make your way down to Javik's house. It's just before noon-ish. You can hear coming from the household some, you know, a small pop. Not an explosion, but just a pop. More pressure than anything else. And then you feel both your brooch and your medallion vibrate extensively as you get closer.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yep, just kind of like, yep, to be expected from a mage's house. And then just...
And then you hear a shout, "I meant to do that! That was entirely intentional."
That's what you always
Did
say.
not mean to do that. I just mutter as I like go up to knock on the door.
I'll get that.
Yes, that would be useful. I need a new shirt.
Well, you don't... We have guests. I won't mention just taking it off. Pardon me? And I open the door. Lady Witcher?
You know, I can hear everything through the door because I have Witcher hearing.
Oh, I hope you didn't hear everything. Never mind. Come on in. Please.
She does.
I was
Yeah.
making a joke. I didn't actually say anything naughty. We have a lovely brunch for you, and welcome back to Javik's home.
You know, it is also your home, correct, Ianto?
Well, not technically officially. I just
And
mostly
he kind
say-
of, like, puts a hand on your shoulder and goes, "Yes, your name's on this deed.
When did you do that?
I told you I was going to do it before I left to visit my brother."
Well, I didn't think you actually do it.
When have I ever not done something that I told you I'm going to do?
Well, but I did say you didn't need to.
And I said I'm
Lady
going to
Witch-
do it.
And you always do what you say you're going to do. It just seems, well, that's very sweet of you. And, well, we should have brunch.
Yes, brunch. And you wanted me to look at something, correct?
Yes, the Lady Witcher here has a brooch, which, from my...
Pointed it out yesterday.
Yes, the very nice Von Welder piece. It's very stylish.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually magical.
Oh, really? I didn't know that they had any magical cleanings in that family.
Well, apparently this is some sort of heirloom.